This is a tutorial on how to set up iShareRadio so you can share out your radio, be you a club or just friends and family. First thing we'll want to do is register an account. Use an email for this account. This will be your account name. You can use any names you want for first name and last name. That makes sense for other people when they look at your account. You do not need to put in a call sign if you're not going to be operating. You can choose to use SMS or just have email for verification and alerts. Now wait for the email that'll have the verification number. Make sure you check your spam folder. Sometimes it comes in there. Copy this verification code that you get. And paste it into the verification code. And you now have an account on iShareRadio. Let's log into that account. This is our landing page. It shows some basic information about your account. Let's go to your profile, and here you'll see a number of things you can do. One kind of fun one is just change your icon, your avatar as we call it, and we have a good list of those. You can find one in the list, find a picture, and select. This has nothing to do but just shows up when people look at your account. You can choose to put in a phone number if you want SMS messaging. We now need to select a plan. Since we're going to be sharing out our radio, we need to choose a plan. Plans come in 3 basic sizes: basic, standard, and large. These all have different numbers of radios, different number of club members that can be associated with your account, and how many ways that you can offer up your radio. You can upscale later on if you chose. We're going to choose just the basic. We use Square, which is an internationally known paywall system, so your information is secure. Once you've gotten your plan, it'll show that you have a trial period and that you're signed up. If you go to the plans page, it gives you more details about all the different things that came with the plan you just signed up for, and when the renewal date is. Once you start operating, or people start operating on your system, you will see their actual their use here. Now we need to create our club that we're going to use for sharing out our radio. Club, you get 1 club per account, and you give it any name you'd like that once again would make sense. You can go back and edit this. once we've created our club, we now need to add our radio to our account. To do that, we go to Settings. And under Settings, we have Devices, Offerings, and Software. First, we want to add a device. The device we want to add is our radio. Use your SmartLink account settings here. These are stored in the account. All users that then are going to become members of your club will never see this information. So you never need to share your SmartLink account information. Give this device its display name so that you can associate it easily amongst other devices that may be on the system. And a short description is always helpful. iShareRadio will now register this with SmartLink and show that the radio is online. You can click the little plus sign here and you'll see that we get this information about your radio. Now that we have the radio, we need to create offerings, which is ways in which you want to share out your radio. You can create multiple ways to share out your radio. The first way we're going to do it is a general way where it's a private, meaning only people you have invited to your club can use it. We're going to select our radio. We're going to give it a name of this offering. Membership general use. We're not going to change any rate. We'll keep it at 0. Everyone gets to use it for free who are in my club. We won't change any available times. We will kind of limit usage to 90 minutes. And here we'll create restrictions because our antenna, for instance, on this radio is only good for certain bands. So we can load up the defaults, which is built into the system, and remove those that we don't want. We can also adjust the power levels that we want to use, and we can also add other bands down below if we want, other frequency ranges, and we can adjust these frequency ranges if we want, depending upon our antenna. We've now created a private offering that people who are in our club can now use to access this radio at no charge. Now let's say we want to be able to sell some time on our radio when it's not in use. So we're going to create a public offering. And we're going to put it up on the marketplace. We can offering up the same radio. This time we give it the name will be something like ISR off hours. This time we will say we're going to charge people $5 an hour to use our radio. Might be a little high, might be a little low. You get to determine. You can even make it free if you want. We are going to put some restrictions on when you can use it. You're going to be entering these times in your local time. So we're going to say from 6, actually we're going to say from 9 to midnight, And if you pass over midnight, you do need to add a second one. So you can see up there, notice saying that if you pass 0, you need to add a second one. So we just simply say, okay, we're going to go from 9 to midnight. And then we're going to go from midnight the next day to 6 a.m. We're going to also say they can book it for up to 90 minutes at a time. And we're going to do the same restrictions. You can also restrict power if you want. You can create a lower priced version if you only want QRP, for instance, and limit the power to 1 watt, 5 watts, whatever you want. This is all up to you. Depending upon your plan, determines how many of these different offerings you can create. Finally, what we're going to want to do is go back to memberships, to that club we created, and invite some people to our club. So go to memberships, manage. There you got information about your club. Like I said, you could edit the club name and things. Members, you can now see who's in your club. And here we can invite people to join our club. This will have iShareRadio send an email to them saying, you've been invited to this club, and give them the appropriate information to do so. They do not need to be registered with the system yet, but they will need to use that email when they register. That's it. Your radio is now shared out on iShareRadio. Thank you very much.